Hey everyone, welcome back to Sealin Plays Gyakuten Live. We're on day 2 of the trial. But anyway, May 14th, 4:33 p.m., the courtroom. Court is now back in session for the trial of Asaka Karin. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready to win, Your Honor. Good. Is the witness Tenojirina fully informed and up to date on the case? She is, and is prepared to testify at a moment's notice. Just as I, the prosecution, am ready to pulverize the defense once and for all. I'd say it's the day of your reckoning, but you've been blindly reckoning since yesterday, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. This is it. Today I'll mercifully end your random flailing about with the swift, masterful performance. Blah blah blah, we'll see about that. Well, let's get right into it. Bring in the witness. I hope I remember, cause it's been a little while. But anyway, I guess we're doing this now, huh? Apologies, I know you didn't find any notable evidence today, and I originally wasn't going to call you up. Unfortunately, the defense does what the defense does. You know the drill by now. Now, I believe you've been brought up to speed. Please testify about why you came in from the right side of the doorway. Alrighty. Sorry, Rina-chan, I know you wanted to keep all this a secret, but getting Karin-san roped into this wasn't part of your original plan, was it? I know you hate to have to shift the blame to her. I think if the truth comes out, you'll feel better about it. At least that's what I hope. I'm not so sure about that, but anyway, witness testimony, the right side. I didn't go directly into the restroom. I wanted to test something out first. I've been developing an electronics jammer. It's just a project for my science and technology class. Around the time of the crime, I passed the restroom and went directly to the club room, but I didn't go in. You know how the door of the club room has an electronic lock? I was testing my jammer on the lock to see if it would work. After I did that, I went back to the restroom. That's why it looks like I came from the right. An electronics jammer? That's right, if it worked, it would have unlocked the door without a fingerprint. Don't worry though, it doesn't work. Even if it did, I only made it for experimental purposes, not exploitative purposes. Oh my, if anyone ever breaks into the club room, Rina-chan would be our first suspect, huh? Hang on, Rina-chan, did you bring the jammer with you on the day of the crime? I didn't see you holding anything like that, and you're saying you never went into the club room? Oh, about that, I've been developing in the practice room. I just grabbed it from there before I left. One more thing, since you went up to the club room door, you must have passed by the camera, right? Yep, that's 4:11 p.m. Entry is me. Try not my jammer. So she's admitting she was the unknown entry in the camera records. Better keep that in mind. Still, this whole tidbit with the jammer kind of came out of nowhere. I wonder if she's lying about it. Oh, I'm not sure about that. Oh boy. Now I gotta figure out what the lie is. I think the best case scenario is just press everything and pray I get something right in the long run. So I'm assuming that Ai-chan and Setsuno-chan don't have any more photos they coincidentally took of you passing by? I guess not, otherwise they probably would have gone in a completely different direction with their testimonies. That's just my guess anyway, who knows? Well, I can't say it doesn't make sense. So she took a little detour, didn't she? Witness, what is this something that you wanted to test? And then press this one. Electronics jammer, what's that? Well, I don't know if electronics jammer is the right name for it, honestly. But the point is, it's a device that puts out a signal that tricks the fingerprint sensor into thinking that it should be activated. It didn't work though. I was thinking that the sensor receives signals because it has those records, but maybe I'm wrong. I've got it. You use your so-called electric jammer to wirelessly transmit a command to the printer to get it to print the tickets. Defense, please, shouldn't you be above of sustained claims by now? Guess I can't do anything with this line of thought for the moment. So you're admitting that this entry on the camera records at 4:11 p.m. that reads unknown belongs to you. Most likely. I had to go right up to the clubroom door to test out my jammer after all. I was wearing my board at the time, so the camera wouldn't be able to recognize me. That makes sense, right? You know, I never thought of that. I guess you're right. It's okay though. After my jammer turned out to be a bust, I went right back the way I came. Since I was just diddly-daddling under the camera the whole time, that explains why there's only one entry. Huh, her exclamation seems to make a lot of sense, doesn't it? Maybe we do gotta do like the court record stuff with this. Let's see. Yeah, I was right. Woohoo! I think. So you went directly from the practice room, past the restroom, into the door of the club room, is that correct? I think so. Doesn't that add up? Unfortunately, no, and I'll tell you why. Let's take a look at the camera records again. Here it says that someone passed by the club room at 4:11 p.m. That was me. Is there a problem with that? Actually, there is. The camera records specify that you were moving southbound. That is, you approached it from the north. But if you passed the restroom to go to the clubroom door, you would have approached it from the south. If you approached it from the south, that means you were actually moving northbound, doesn't it? Order in the court. Wow, well done, Yu-chan. You're pretty good with directions, you know. Although, what exactly does this change? Well, because Rina-chan submitted to being the 4:11 entry on the camera records, it means that she was lying about her route. Oh, that's right, good point, Yu-chan. Everyone, we know that the 4:11 person must have been moving southbound. That means they must have been moving clockwise around the halls. If we take the 4:11 person to be Rina-chan and refer to the hallway map, you can see that going clockwise means you take the long way around the halls to the club room. But notice, what room do you pass by if you take that route? It would take you right past the printing room. That's right. The logical route involves Rina-chan passing by the printing room. How do you intend to explain this, Rina-chan? Just because the witness passed by the printing room, that doesn't mean she had to have gone in. There are a number of possible reasons why Tennoji Rina-san took the long route. You have no proof she ever went into the printing room. In that case, the defense requests that the witness testify about why she chose to take the long route instead of the more obvious short route. Alright, here you go. Witness testimony, the long route. The electronic jammer takes a while to warm up, so while I waited for that to happen, I decided to kill some time. I decided to take the long route around the halls. It's nice to listen to music while you walk, you know. I had my electronic board on at the time. As you can see, my board has a built-in set of headphones. My board also has a storage for a bunch of cool stuff, including songs. Pretty nifty, right? Harasho, what a neat little device. So you're currently wearing the same board that you had on during the time of the crime. That's right, it looked a little different then, but there are attachments I can add to this board to make it look different for different purposes. Rina-chan wanted to take a stroll, listening to music while her jammer warmed up. I don't know if I buy that. What? You never done it, Yu-chan? It's quite relaxing and gives you a moment to yourself. Yeah, but I have no doubt that Rina-chan was the one who printed the VIP tickets. There is no way she just wanted to take a stroll. You think so? Better keep that in mind for the cross-examinations coming up then. Defense, your witness. We will press each statement. How long does it take to warm up, would you say? Maybe 3 minutes or so. I guess you could say that my trip around the whole hallway took 3 minutes as well. And how do you know that trip lasted that long? Did you time it? Well, I had a telepathy playing at the time, and I got to the 9th telepathy when I reached the clubroom door. That's about the 3-minute mark, you know? Huh? Okay. Defense, do you have any evidence that would contradict the witness's statement? I don't know. Let's see, do I have any evidence to suggest that the trip must have taken longer or shorter than 3 minutes? Honestly, I don't think so, no. I don't think I have the evidence to counter that claim. Best to hold it off for now. Did anything notable happen during your trip? What, you mean like did I see or hear anything out of place? Not really, no. All I heard was Ai-san and Setsuna-san chattering about something in the restroom, but that was when I had just left the practice room. Defense, do you have any evidence? I don't know. Let me look. I don't think I have anything. No. I feel like I'm missing something, but I just don't know what it is, cause it's been a little while. Are you sure that board was the same one you had on today? Yeah, I have a cat ear and star attachments for the idol version of it, but it's just the same board. Usually if I'm not using it for extended periods of time, I just put all the attachments on so I don't lose them, but I remembered to take them off for the trial today. You all called me up on such short notice that I almost forgot to take them off, you know. Right, sorry about that. Don't worry about it, I'm not serious. Defense, do you have any evidence? For this statement, maybe. Let's see. I'll click yes and see what happens. Yes, Your Honor, there's evidence to show why the board she has on today is a different board than the one she had on during the day of the crime. Obviously, we gotta present the arena idol outfit. This evidence showed us why, and I don't think it's right because the music is still playing. Great, that's embarrassing. But anyway, last statement to press. What else do you have stored in there? Let's see. Photos and videos, notes, song lyrics, cheat sheets. I hope you're not committing academic disintegrity. I have to report you if you are.
Bruh.
I don't bring this board to class. Oh, right. You bring your weird paper notepad when you're just lounging around. Does the notepad have cheat sheets? What the heck are you going on about? Knock it off. Defense, you have any evidence? I don't think so. This is bad. She's most likely talking about her board. I think she's trying to throw you off. Yeah, I don't think she's given us enough info just off the bat. I'll probably have to do some pressing. Sounds good. Don't let her fool you. Rina-chan may be nice, but she's also very smart. She'll be a tough nut to crack. Yeah, let's get to pressing her. I need to see what I can find out. But I just pressed all the statements. There is something I'm missing. I just don't know which one it is.
20 minutes later.
Alright, so I'm supposed to click yes for this. I said no. Yes, Your Honor. Rina-chan must have seen or heard this during her trip. Okay, would it be the photo? Because what if Rina heard like a snapshot sound? Let me try. Music didn't stop. Nope, that was not right. Okay, the printer? I don't know. Present. Music didn't stop. Okay, I'm doing something wrong. It's not any evidence. It's a person. Wasn't Karin wandering around the halls too? I think so. So, Rina-chan, you can confirm that you were going clockwise around the hallways. Is that correct? Yes. But at the same time, Karin-san was walking counterclockwise around the halls. One person walks clockwise, another person walks counterclockwise on the same path at the same time. What happens? That's right. They will invariably run into each other. That's right. They have to have met at some point during their walk. We know that Karin-san was circling the halls from 408 to 414 based on the info from the camera records. Not to mention, Rina-chan's trip requires her to be at the clubroom door at 411. It's essentially impossible for them to have missed each other. Karin-san said that she never encountered anyone in the halls, right? That means Rina-chan must have avoided Karin-san somehow. The question is, how and why did Rina-chan avoid Karin-san? What kind of question is that? Obviously the witness ducked into some other room or hallway as the defendant passed by. What do you say, witness? That's what you did, correct? Well, yes, that goes without saying. As for the why, well, I'll let the witness testify about it. Rina-chan hid away in some hall or room while Karin-san passed by, huh? I haven't really been paying attention to the surroundings of those hallways. I wonder where she chose to lay low. That's it! Defense, what are you screaming all about over there? I think I know. Rina-chan, the place you hid from Karin-san in, could it be your... I will not allow you to badger the witness with random accusations. You know what you have to do instead. If you got an idea of where the witness decided to hide from the defendant, provide the evidence to back it up at the same time. Evidence? Do I have any? Very well then. Here is my evidence that shows exactly where Rina-chan decided to hide from Karin-san. And I gotta be careful, I got 40 LP left. It has to be the printing room, so the printer? I'm taking a guess. The music didn't stop, are you joking? Well, I sure can't. How about you, prosecution? No, how about you, defense? So wait, did I get it right or no? I'm confused. I can't either. I mean, yes? I highly doubt that. I'll make this penalty quite visible, though. Yeah, very much, I understand. Give it another try. Make sure we can see your pointer this time. Very well then. Oh my god, I am scared. This is my last chance. If I get it wrong, I'm done for. I mean, the only thing I have left besides the printer would be the printer records. Let's take a look at the printer records again. Here it says that the printers were turned on at 4:10 p.m. Remember that. Now we know that Rina-chan was moving through the halls clockwise. We also know that she passed by the club room just 1 minute later at 4:11. You don't mean... That's right, the timing of the printer getting activated matches up perfectly with Rina-chan's trip around the halls. Harasho, so you're saying that the witness entered the printing room and turned on the printer? It's the only logical explanation. Nobody else could possibly have turned the printer on. Isn't that right, Rina-chan? Rina-chan, the room you hid from Karin-san in, could it have been the printing room? Who can say? The printer was turned on at the time you supposedly went in. That can't be a coincidence. How do you explain this? Why was the printer used at the same time you apparently entered the printing room? Witness, this is a very incriminating situation for you. Please think about your answer carefully. Once you're ready, please testify about why you decided to hide from the defendant and why the printer was turned on. Hang on, give me a sec. Rina-chan, are you alright? Yes, I feel normal. Just a moment. Okay, I'm ready. Rina-chan, just hang in there for a little longer. Avoiding Karin. Oh my god. When I heard Karin-san coming around the corner, I ducked into the nearest room, which happened to be the printing room. Based on what I know, I think at the time my signal jammer finally finished warming up. Since it has wireless functions, it may have automatically connected to the nearest printer without me knowing, thereby turning it on. The nearest printer must have been the big white printer, and it stayed connected even after I left, which is why the printer didn't automatically turn off. That is until Karin-san plugged in her own flash drive, which overrode my connection to it. It's getting a bit convoluted now, don't you think? So your jammer linked up to the printer? It is convoluted, but that's what happens when you fidget around with technology sometimes. Just like with everything else in this school. It all seems a little too convenient, right? So all this confusion can be chalked up to one big accident? Not gonna lie, I'm fairly sure 95% of Rina-chan's testimony was fabricated. There's no way that all those coincidences just happened to fall into place. Gee, you're probably aiming to prove that her story right now is somehow phony. Looks like that's what I have to do. But what are the odds that I have evidence to prove that something didn't happen? Great. We'll just press everything and choose carefully. Anyway, why did you feel the need to hide from Karin-san? I don't know. You don't know? But you're the only one who can answer that. Sorry, I don't have an answer. Rina-chan, but... That's enough. If she doesn't know, then she doesn't know. Sometimes your body just does things without knowing why. She most certainly went in the printing room to print out the VIP tickets, but can I prove that right now? I don't know. Anyway, next statement. So you're not sure. I'm pretty sure, but you often end up with unintended behaviors when working with technology. But as far as I know, that's what happened. I have no clue why, but it is what it is. I can't tell if this is extremely suspicious or just extremely relatable. Alright, next one. It just connected automatically? Yes, it seems to be some unexpected side effect of the programming. Actually, maybe that's why the jammer didn't work on the door, because it was already connected to the printer. I'll give it another run later, after I program a way to disconnect it from the nearest electronic device after startup. Or you could just make it not automatically connect to the nearest thing when it turns on. So the printer thought your jammer was a flash drive? I guess so. Whatever it is, the jammer pinged something in the printer that made it think it had a job to do. Oh, maybe I should rebrand my electronics jammer as a printer jammer and turn it in as one. Printer jammer needs a bit of work on the name, or people might think it just messes up the paper inside the printer. Hang on a second, isn't it possible that your jammer could wirelessly print the VIP tickets that way? No, but at 4:15 when the tickets were printed, I was in the restroom. My jammer only works in short distances, not over several dozen meters and through 3 walls. Not to mention, I don't think my jammer is able to command the printer to print, only serve as a beacon to turn it on, among other things. If only we had more details about this jammer. That's enough. At this point, we're running in more circles than the witness and the suspect on the day of the crime. The point is, I think I've heard all I needed to hear. It might be time to wrap this trial up. Wait, I object! We're not done! No way, I'm so close. Your Honor, please wait. The defense just needs a little more info. Is that so? About what exactly? This so-called electronics jammer, we haven't seen it, and we don't even know if it even exists. The defense requests that the witness testify further about the electronics jammer. Prosecution, do you agree to this? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Correct. The defense already cross-examined an entire testimony from the witness about how the jammer interfered with the printer. Further info would be superfluous to the point of frivolosness. I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, you've already gotten enough from the previous testimony. We're not going to examine every last detail about some device that has already served its purpose in the case. What will you ask for next? The components of the jammer? The size of it? The way you use it? Yes, in fact, I would like to know all of those things. Your Honor, the defense has officially gone cuckoo. Let's finish this trial before we lose any more of our dignity. I agree. It may be time to bring this trial to an end, but first, defense, I'll grant you one last chance to present any evidence you think would advance the trial. Ah, damn it, that's it. Well, what now, China? Do you have any evidence?
No!
I don't, at this point. The only evidence that would let the trial go on is the jammer, if it even exists. I mean, think about it. If the jammer actually exists, surely Daya-san would have presented it by now. But Daya-san's refusing to show it to us. What am I supposed to do? In that case, you just have to make her want to show it to us. It's your only chance. Make her? Can I do that? Defense, it's time. Do you have any evidence that would allow the trial to continue? Evidence that would allow us to continue the trial. Do I have anything? Well, I gotta say yes. Wait. No, I don't have anything. Your Honor? Unfortunately, the prosecution hasn't given the defense the evidence that would allow the trial to continue. What's that supposed to mean? Well, isn't it clear? The only piece of evidence that would continue the trial is the one that you're refusing to show us to the court. That's because I already know that it will have no bearing on the case. Showing it will be a waste of time. And yet, we don't have confirmation if the so-called electronics jammer even exists. It's strange. If there's nothing sus about it, why haven't you submitted it as evidence by now? Your Honor, what do you call it when you knowingly conceal or fabricate evidence for a case like this? Tampering? Tampering with evidence. But Daya-san would never tamper with evidence, right? Perhaps, but... Oh, shit. I gotta think. Would that be connected to the printer somehow? I'm going for it. Let's take a look at this evidence. The music stopped, so I might be right. What does this have to do with anything? Wrong thing. You were talking about Daya-san falsifying evidence. What does this evidence have to do with that? Nothing. What I meant to show was this. Oh good, I have another chance. So it's not the printer. Creased papers maybe?
That is not correct.
Okay, after 20 minutes of struggling, I looked at the developer's video on this and apparently the newspaper is right. I don't know why or how. But anyway, Your Honor, do you remember this case from a month ago? Oh yes, I remember. Maki lost to Daya back then, didn't she? That's what the official result was, but a certain somebody told me something interesting about this case that got me thinking. Would Daya-san have won without the fabricated evidence? Yes, there were those rumors, but they were just rumors, weren't they? Who knows, but I sure hope Daya-san isn't tampering with evidence this time around. Or did those rumors have an inkling of truth? Ooh, Daya's in trouble. Order, order. You can stop right there. I know what it looks like, and I'm aware of what happened last month, but a rumor is just a rumor, nothing more. Maki-san was the first to accuse me of falsifying evidence. Everyone else took it and ran from there. Right, Maki still thinks you fabricated the evidence though. Perhaps she even started those rumors herself, but even if no one believes me, the truth prevails. I wouldn't be caught dead falsifying the evidence. And this situation is no different. The only reason I have not submitted the jammer is because the witness wishes me not to. But that doesn't matter. The jammer does exist. I have inspected it inside and out. Nothing about it raises any red flags. And that's why this one time I figured it would not matter if it wasn't shown directly. But I suppose I was wrong to think that way. Prosecution, will you now permit the witness to testify about the electronics jammer? I will not stand for being accused of tampering of evidence any longer. So yes, I rescind my previous decision. However, defense, once it becomes clear that this testimony changes nothing, you will finally understand my choice. Very well then, witness, please testify about the electronics jammer. Okay, I feel a bit dirty for putting Daya-san on the spot like that in front of Ellie-san, but it had to be done. Thank you for the advice, Nozumi-san. Anyway, your witness testimony, the jammer. I have the jammer with me today. It's right here. That looks like a remote or a walkie-talkie, but okay. I apologize for not showing it earlier. It's meant to be a secret project. If it's okay, I would feel more comfortable testifying about it instead of submitting it. So the jammer does exist then. And as I have said, I have personally inspected this device. I can confirm that it is handmade using parts from various sources, meaning that it's not a fake. Rina-chan says that she was keeping the jammer to herself because it's meant to be a secret project, but I don't believe it. She had no problem telling us about it earlier, right? Whatever happened to that? Her testimony is starting to fall apart. You better finish this quickly before she gets stressed out anymore. If I could just break this testimony, we might finally get through to her just a little more. Oh boy. You had no problem telling us about this supposedly secret project before. Why were you reluctant to actually show it off? Oh, I know it. The design is a black box. You're not supposed to know its inner workings. But you couldn't even let us see it to confirm it existed. The visual design is also a black box. I don't think that's what a black box means, but to be fair, it is both black and a box. Can you tell us more about the jammer? Like what? Let's see, what should I ask about? How to use a jammer, when the jammer was completed, what the jammer is made from. Ooh, how to use it would be a good start. Anyway, can you tell us about how to operate the jammer? Alright, the jammer reads signal data from the micro SD card. It connects to the nearest device, and you can press the button to try to jam it. So you uploaded the signal data for the fingerprint lock, but it connected to the printer. Yes, the jammer just searches for whatever it can connect to as soon as it boots up. Whether or not it can actually jam that device, that's another story. You have to make sure you have the right data. And according to Rina-chan, connecting to the printer makes the printer think that it has a flash drive plugged in it, until Karin-san overrode it with her own flash drive. It's an awfully short testimony. Rina-chan seems reluctant to give you info if she can avoid it. Looks like I'll have to press her to get more if I can. That said, there are a multitude of things I can ask her, but in all likelihood, only one of them will lead to a breakthrough. Take your time if you need to. You may have to test each bit of info to see if you have any evidence related to it. That is true. How do we know that's an actual electronics jammer? I'm not exactly sure how I'm supposed to prove that. If you want, you could give me a bit of time to calibrate the jammer to be synced to your phone or something. If your phone breaks, then you can be sure that it's a real jammer. No thanks. Can you tell us when the jammer was completed? Alright, I completed the jammer 2 days before the crime. I'm gonna ask about the third choice for this. Can you tell us what the jammer is made out of? Sorry, but what does that have to do with anything? That's what we're trying to find out, so please, Rina-chan. Alright, I assembled the jammer out of a coil from a bug zapper, an old cell phone, and some other electronic bits. Okay, press this then. Can you describe the bug zapper and old cell phone? Well, the bug zapper is one of those huge swatters that looks like a tennis racket. You could get those for pretty cheap. The old cell phone was pretty cheap too. I just got a really old unused one from a used electronics store. So all in all, this jammer didn't really cost too much to make. I wonder if Rina-chan and Setsuna-chan do their phone shopping from the same place. Possible. It is possible. I never actually looked at the shopping list. Old cell phone, it doesn't have to be too expensive. Anything else? I don't think so. Anyway, I'm gonna present this. Rina-chan, I'm sorry, but I've got this shopping list that I-chan sent to Shiriko-chan. Are you aware of it? Shopping list? Is it the one you talked about yesterday? The one that I-san sent to Shiriko-san on the day of the crime? That's right, but there's one item on here that catches my attention. It looks like I-chan had asked Shiriko-chan to pick up an old cell phone, just like the one that you said you made your jammer out of. There's no doubt that it was meant for you. Recall that the list was sent to Shiriko-chan on the day of the crime. Do you know what that means? That's right, on the day of the crime, the electronics jammer was not yet completed. Order! Daya-san, you told me that there was nothing wrong with the jammer. Why did you never bring it up that it didn't exist on the day of the crime? Don't look at me! I was not made aware of that info. I was under the pretense that the jammer was completed much earlier than in reality. This discrepancy was never made apparent to me. Rina-chan hid this info from Daya-san. Defense, what do you make of the fact that the jammer was not yet completed at the time of the crime? It means that Rina-chan's motive for taking the longer route is bogus. Since her jammer wasn't completed, there was no waiting for it to warm up. She must have taken a longer route for a different reason, but that's not the only discrepancy that this raises. In addition, with the jammer incomplete, she must have turned on the printer manually instead. But why? Members of the court, I'm sure we're all thinking the same potential alternate reason. It's clear as day. Well, witness, do you have an explanation for your behavior? Witness, breathe. Take a second to catch your breath. Poor Rina-chan. I know this is a fake trial, but still. Anyway, the court will offer you a chance to explain yourself. Don't worry. Rina-chan, please listen to me. This is your chance to set things right. If you just confess to the crime, it'll all be over. I know you were having hard times, and that's not your fault. We're here to support you. You are our friend. You can end this right now. I don't know what emotions you're keeping inside yourself, but they won't hurt you anymore. Witness, it's time. Please give your testimony. Oh, poor Rina, she's shaking. I saw her. Oh, her hand is still shaking. Man, I'm gonna cry. I confess to nothing. I can't. I just can't. I don't have the heart. Oh my god, my heart just shattered. Rina-chan, no! Sorry, defense. It looks like the witness is maintaining her innocence. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to take this testimony for what it is. Oh no, poor Rina-chan. I hope her little heart can handle this. This is what Ai-chan was warning us about. Rina-chan's not taking this well. Are you going to keep on the offense? I know we're trying to find the truth, but I don't want her to break either. Maybe it's just time for her to let out her emotions. If she keeps suppressing her feelings, she's probably also suppressing her joy. It's not about controlling her emotions anymore. I think she's letting her emotions control her. Rina-chan, I'm going to help you. I'm going to see this to the end if that's the last thing I do. So please just tell me. What are you hiding from me? Oh my god. Oh, my heart hurts. This is sad. Oh, I like the music though, but this is not the time for a dance party. Rina-chan, listen to me. I know you were the one who printed the tickets, but I also understand why. There's no need to hide it anymore. It's okay for you to let it out. Defense, quit badgering on the witness. You've got a lot of nerve pulling that stunt at this point in the trial. This is unforgivable. Wait, Daya-san, please. Just let me talk to her this one time. Strike this from the record if you need to. It doesn't matter. This is serious. Just let me speak directly to her for a bit, please. Prosecution, do you accept these terms? Proceed. Very well. The following interaction shall be omitted from the court record. Thank you. Rina-chan, I heard about everything that's been going on behind the scenes. You don't have to be ashamed of it. You just wanted to see your parents again, and I can respect that. You have our support, I promise you. So please, bring this trial to an end. I'm sorry, you son. I'm physically unable to do that. Ai-san, Karin-san, they made sacrifices for me. They put their trust in me. They went to all these lengths for me. I can't be the one to end this. If I do, then I fail them. I can't be the one to have wasted all their hopes for helping me. I don't have the heart. Your Honor, I'd like to add to my testimony. Rina-chan! I'm sorry, witness. The previous interaction was stricken from the court record. Allowing it will result in a mistrial. Unless the witness' sudden revision was a spontaneous decision. Daya-san, I assert that the witness randomly and voluntarily changed her mind. Then there is no issue. Daya-san, thank you. Very well. Let the record show that the witness had an impromptu change of decision. It's just like Ai-chan said, Rina-chan's afraid of letting down others. Rina-chan, no matter how you act, I can tell you're screaming for help on the inside. Please just hang through for a little longer. It's up to you now, you son. I have no explanation on why I turned on the printer. I just felt like it. I left the printing room at 4:11. The tickets were printed at 4:15. There is no way to account for this gap. I don't know why the printer stayed on for 5 minutes longer than usual. It must be a glitch. That's all I'm able to say. I'm sorry. I'm not strong enough to face all this. I will press everything. Why not? So you're confirming that the 410 on the printed records is you? Yes, I am. But did you print anything or just leave it sitting there with the power on? Who knows? Perhaps I don't remember. I don't believe that for a sec. I better proceed under the assumption that she did print something. The question is what? The VIP tickets weren't printed until 4:15. Would there be some way to delay the print? Say you order the printing job at 4:10, but it doesn't happen till 4:15. No, there's no reason why a printer would need a feature like that. When you order the printing job, the printer gets right to work. That's how it is, and that's how it's always been. Rats, so there's no accounting for that 5-minute gap. Huh, I wonder. What's wrong on you? Well, even if the printer had no built-in way to delay the printing of the tickets, I wonder if there's something you can do that would simulate a similar effect. Simulate a similar effect? Could it be that the tickets simply took 5 minutes to print? That's impossible. The printer can run a paper through itself in 5 seconds and print a full page of text in 15. Even if it did take 5 minutes to print, I believe the ticket's timestamp is based on when it begins printing, not finishing. So the tickets began printing at 4:15, meaning it could only have in Karin-san, right? Unless somehow Rina-chan left the room before 4:11 and then it began printing at 4:15. It's okay, Rina-chan. Take a bit of time to calm down. You son, I've hurt people, haven't I? No, you haven't. Everyone who helped you, they did so because they wanted to, not because you made them do it. Don't you see? They care for you. You're not a burden, I promise. I've got to finish this for everyone involved. Yu-chan, do you really think that it'll be good for her if you reveal all of her secrets? I hope so. I just hope she remembers that even if she did some questionable things to Karin-san, it's not her fault that she was in the situation that led her to do this. Rina-chan's barely given me any info to work with. I might have to see if I can get any info out of her and piece the bits and bobs together myself. Right now, the most pressing question is how she managed to pull all of this off. Once I answer that... Wait, so what statement it is then? I'm so confused.
5 minutes later.
Rina-chan, we're trying to help you. Is it possible for you to give us more info? I don't know, I'm scared to say anymore. She wants me to end this, I can tell. I just know she wants me to be the one to end it. But she's afraid of speaking too much. Then it would have to be her who was the one who ended it. Her guilt is scaring her into submission. She doesn't want to give me any more direct info. I'll have to work with what I've got. It's up to you now, Yusana. Let's try to present something. Maybe the creased papers will do it. I don't want Rina to suffer anymore. I gotta get through this. When we did our investigation yesterday, we found something very peculiar. At the time, we couldn't explain it. You see, when we looked in the paper tray of the big white printer, there was this bundle of papers. Whoop-de-doo, Defense. You found paper in a paper tray. Do you want a medal? No, I don't need your medal. What I need you to do is feel the edges of the paper. Huh. Oh, there appears to be a tiny little crease around the edges of the paper. Yep, a tiny little crease. But why is it there? Perhaps the factory that made them was messed up and put out some faulty sheets of paper? I don't think so. I think these papers were all run through the big white printer. Huh? Someone decided to print 60 blank sheets of paper? That's right. And here's how I know they were run through the big white printer specifically. I'm scared. I don't want to mess this up. Others, I gotta redo this again. Oh, didn't Karin wanted her homework printed? I gotta find it in this mess. This is Karin-san's homework. It was what Karin-san was trying to print on the day of the crime, not the VIP tickets. Wouldn't you know it, she had printed it on the big white printer. The printer was suffering malfunctions that made this crease appear on anything that was run through it. If you touch it, you'll notice that the edges are creased, just like the big stack of blank papers. In fact, they match perfectly. So that's the story. Someone decided to print 5 dozen sheets of nothing. But I still don't get why anyone would do that. What's the point? Isn't it just a waste of time? Exactly. The whole point of printing these 60 blank sheets was to waste time. Yeah, you mean, that's right, 60 sheets of blank paper would take a while to get through, even if they're blank, you see. We've established that the printer likes to turn off after 1 minute, unless it thinks it has a job to do. There's no way that a printer would feel like turning off while it's in the middle of printing, so it would just happily keep churning out those blank sheets until its jobs ran out. Now imagine if someone ordered 60 blank sheets of paper and a set of VIP tickets somewhere near the end. Order! That's impossible! Are you seriously implying that the witness ordered the printer to print all that garbage and just walked away? That's exactly what I'm implying. On May 11th at 4:10 p.m. in the printing room, Rina-chan used the big white printer, ordered 60 sheets of blank paper and the VIP tickets, and then just walked away. So the reality of the matter is, allow me to put it all into summary. The witness's top priority was to not be found out. Her plan was to delay the printing of their tickets, then to leave the printing room. Then she would go to the restroom and get her photo taken there. The illusion would be that the tickets would have been printed while she was somewhere else. Thus, it would look like she wasn't responsible for printing the tickets because she was in another room. But what about the photo? Surely the photo being taken at the same time the tickets were printed. That's too big of a coincidence, right? Hardly. I know you don't know this, Your Honor, but Rina-chan and Ai-chan are close friends. No doubt this is part of their plan from the beginning. Ai-chan was an accomplice to the crime. I'm absolutely certain that Ai-chan and Rina-chan were fishing for a photo that would coincide with the time the VIP tickets were printed. And let's not forget, Ai-chan had called Setsuna-chan to the restroom with her for apparently no reason. But if we consider that Ai-chan was trying to help Rina-chan come off as less suspicious by suggesting that she wasn't in the printing room when the VIP tickets were printed, it would have been the perfect opportunity to create a witness in Setsuna-chan. And how do you account for the fact that the defendant must have entered the printing room right after the tickets were printed? The tickets would have been sitting on top of the pile of papers. Surely she would have noticed them. But that could never have happened, as the defendant reported not seeing any VIP tickets at the scene of the crime. Unless the tickets weren't the last thing printed. If, for example, the tickets were the second or third last things printed, then the VIP tickets would have been under one of the blank sheets. All the defendant would have seen were just a stack of apparently normal sheets. Rina-chan, I've just got one question for you. How accurate is my account of things? Is it possible that this is exactly what you've done? Your Honor, wouldn't you agree that everything I've said so far makes a whole lot of sense? In fact, I'd say this degree of evidence vindicates my client. Karin-san was never the one who printed the VIP tickets. I will say you made an awfully convincing case for yourself. Prosecution, is there anything else you'd like to add? No, Your Honor, I've got nothing. And so it's finally over. Wait, what? Before you go, what the hell? I have just 2 words I want you to consider. And what's that? Rena clicker. Rena clicker? What does that have to do with? I'm sorry, what is this about? What is Rena Clicker? It's a little mobile phone game I made. It's called Rena Clicker. Before I left the practice room, I had left my phone in there so the others could play it. And as we established yesterday, you are required to use your Niji or virtual ID to start printing things. Since she didn't have her phone, the witness is the sole person who absolutely could not have printed anything, especially not the VIP tickets. Why? Oh, I think I understand. So no matter what evidence there is to suggest otherwise, the fact is that the witness couldn't have printed anything under any circumstances. That is correct, Your Honor, meaning the defense's case is now completely done for.
Huh?
Well, now Yu-chan, we were so close, and all of our progress gets wiped out just like that.
Bruh.
I don't believe this. Rena-chan planned this from the very start. This was her final lifeline that she was hiding until now. I don't know what to do. No one can print anything without their ID. It's hopeless. Nonsense. You're Takasaki Yu-chan. You can figure this out. There just has to be an explanation for all this. Defense, let's hear it. If you still believe that the witness was responsible for the crime, how do you explain how she was able to print the tickets without her phone? I don't know, but I need to think of something. I've come too far to just give up now. Your Honor, the defense's theory is that Rena-chan used Karin's phone, used Ai's phone, used the old phone meant for the jammer, or didn't use the phone. Oh, I want to say Karin's phone just cause the jammer device thing wasn't made at the time of the crime. That's my guess. I'm sticking to it. Karin-san left her phone in the printing room on the day of the crime, remember? Since Karin-san's phone has access to her Niji virtual ID, the answer is clear. Rena-chan borrowed Karin-san's phone to print the tickets. Two problems with that theory. First off, the defendant's phone had a lock screen on it. Even if the witness had access to the defendant's phone, she wouldn't have been able to use it. Oh yeah. Second, the witness must have entered the printing room before the defendant did. Her phone would have not have been there. Sorry, defense, looks like your theory doesn't hold water and I'm dead. That's quite enough. I gotta redo this again. Great. Okay, so it has to be the last two options then. Because if Ai's phone is the same as Karin's phone, it will have the lock screen situation again. I feel like it's not the jammer. But at the same time, I think it is. Well, obviously she didn't use a phone then. If Rena-chan didn't have a phone, how could she have printed the tickets? It's very simple. She just printed the tickets without using the phone. Have you gone bonkers? That's like saying if you want to skateboard, but you don't have a skateboard, just skateboard without a skateboard. Explain this. How could the witness have used her Niji virtual ID without a cell phone on hand? It's all been building up to this. If I can just get this right, it will answer everything. To all of you in the court, here's how Rena-chan was able to use her Niji virtual ID without a phone. My only guess would have to be Rena's outfit. This is Rena-chan's idol outfit. She was wearing this on the day of the crime. If you'll notice, this outfit includes her electronic board. Defense, you're not implying. That's exactly what I'm implying. Rena-chan has the Niji virtual ID app installed in her Rena-chan board. The witness has the app for a phone installed in her electronic board, but that's crazy. Exactly. Do you even know if her board has wireless compatibilities, or are you just making this up as you go? The witness's board is for aesthetic purposes. How are we supposed to know that it can even connect to a printer? I refuse to believe that the witness's board has such a compatibility. It's ludicrous to even think about. But maybe I can prove otherwise. Very well, if you think that Rena-chan's board doesn't have wireless functions, let me show you why you're wrong. We'll try Ai-chan's photo. The evidence in the photo that Ai-chan took on the day of the crime. In that case, please point out what this supposed evidence is exactly. Show the court what you mean. AirPods.
Nope.
Are the antenna? An antenna? But isn't that just for decoration? I highly doubt it. If the defense's account of things is correct, then I-chan's photo would have been taken immediately after Rina-chan used the printer, and therefore needed the antenna out. But the thing is, I've actually never seen that antenna on her before. As such, if you look at the witness now, the antenna is not visible on the board. The only reason the antenna would be present in the photo is if it were functional. And since it's here, the defense suggests that we take a closer look at her board and see if it really does have a fully functional retractable antenna. Not only that, but we have a chance to verify if her board really has the Niji Virtual ID app downloaded onto it. Once all that is done, we'll know for certain who is responsible for printing the VIP tickets. Witness, it's time. Please forfeit your board for inspection. Poor Rina-chan. It's been a long fight, hasn't it? Rina-chan? Everything that you said, it was true, all of it. The route I took, the plan to have my photo taken at the right time, the ID app in my board, all of that was me, to get the VIP tickets. This week my parents happen to be in town. Their busy work schedule prevents them from being home most of the time. I figured if I got them some VIP tickets to our next live, they'd spare some time to come watch. I could finally see them in person for once, but it wasn't meant to be. I had expected this outcome. I knew there would be a chance that it wouldn't work out. I would have just returned the tickets in that case, but I was afraid. If people knew that I asked for VIP tickets, then had to cancel them, I was afraid that they were going to ask questions about it. It's all exactly as I-chan had described, down to the finest details. I didn't want anyone to ask about it or worry about me. Quite frankly, all of this was nobody's business but mine. So I hatched a plan. I would figure out a way to print the tickets without anyone knowing. I wanted to leave no way to trace the fact that it was all of my doing. Then, if it becomes known that the tickets were printed, I wouldn't have to say anything about it. They could just be cancelled without my involvement. So I had the tickets printed in a discreet way. I went back to the printing room way later and hid them somewhere only I was aware of, under the printer. That way nobody could link them to me in case I was caught. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that they would have been exceeded the seat count. The email was sent out, and well, that dragged Karin-san into all this. But I-san told me it was okay, so I kept going and going, and oh no, don't cry! Come on! I'm sorry I caused you all way more trouble than it was worth. I can't justify my decisions. I should have just faced them from the very beginning. Oh, poor Rina-chan. Rina-chan, it's okay. If anything, I hope you can forgive me for pressing you so hard. It couldn't have been easier. I don't blame you. I had no right to hide all this after it started getting Karin-san involved. You were just doing what you needed to do. And don't worry about me. You finally set things right. I feel liberated. Rina-chan board. Arigato gozaimasu. So that's why you did what you did. The true culprit of the case of the VIP tickets. Oh, come on. You can't just blame Rina-ri for all this. After all, this was never just a one-woman crime. I-san, you're here. Come on, Rina-ri. Of course, if you're going down, you're not doing it alone. I'm going down with you. Oh, stop. You're gonna make me cry. Miyashita Ai, correct? You were the accomplice, weren't you? That's right. Rina-ri may have been the one who came up with the initial plan and pulled off the crime herself. But almost everything else was my doing. I was worried about how the plan could go wrong, and Ai-san was always there to give me an answer to the issue. For example, one of the earlier issues was, what if someone knew that I was in the printing room while the tickets were being printed? And I told her, delay the tickets being printed. It'll make it look like you were somewhere else when they came out. And then Rinari was afraid of people thinking the photo might be faked. Yeah, but then Ai-san immediately thought of creating a witness that could vouch for it. Every time I had a concern, Ai-san had an answer. So that sums up your involvement in this case. Yes, my involvement was that I was blindly feeding her insecurities. Instead of helping her overcome her issues, I was just giving her ways to delay facing them. And that's all I did this whole time. And I thought that was good for her. I even asked Karin to take the fall for Rinari. I chose to sacrifice her for another. I'm sorry, Rinari. I was the real criminal. Ai-san. Both of you went to reasonable lengths for each other. Though unjustified, they were understandable. Please don't let it weigh too heavily on your coincidences. It's alright. We've got a lot of issues to work through, Rinari and I both. If the going gets too tough, consider seeing a professional. Even if you want to be there for each other, you're just normal, everyday people. There's only so much you can do. I don't think it's that serious yet, but it's good advice. We'll keep that in mind. But thanks, Daya-san. You're not so bad. And Yu, thank you for setting everything straight. Thank you. Defendant, please take the stand. That's me, so it's really all over? Indeed it is. As fun as this trial was, all great things must come to an end. Sounds good. What a lovely performance from both sides. I hope you all continue with what you're doing. It's too magnificent to go unseen by the people of the world. That sentiment is shared. Please keep up the good work. This court officially finds the defendant, Asaka Karin, not guilty. Thank God. This took far too long. That is all. Das Vindania. I guess that's Russian for court is adjourned. I don't think I pronounced that right, but who cares? May 14th, 6:09 p.m. Defendant lobby. Phew, it was tough, but it's finally over. Well done, Yu-chan. How does it feel to have another win under your belt? I feel good, but honestly, the best part is the fact that Rina-chan and Ai-chan seem to be happy with how everything turned out. That's right, and it was all thanks to you, Yu-chan. Well, I wouldn't say it was all me. For instance, I couldn't have done it without... Hey, nice going! You managed to restore justice to our school. Speak of the devil. The devil? Where? I won't stand for evildoers in my part of town. Begone, demon. Setsuna-chan, thank you for your help. Without you, this case may have gone unsolved. Really? I was that helpful? Yes, I could count on you to speak the truth, and that really turned the case around for us. You are a true warrior of justice. Yeah, you're right. Alone we are powerful, but together we are the unstoppable forces of truth, and I'm glad it could turn out this way. And speaking of people I couldn't have won the trial without. Daya-san, thank you for your help. Help? Why on earth would I ever help you? Near the end of the trial, I noticed that you let Rina-chan testify in a way that wouldn't cause a mistrial. You have my gratitude. Poppycock, I wasn't saying that to help you to make your little friend feel better or anything. I just wanted the trial to end faster. I don't really believe what you're... Hey, quiet, you loon. Take a look at this. It's a gavel? Not just any gavel. It's Ellie-san's gavel. She even signed it. Wow, lucky you. Take care of that now. Oh, speaking of autographs, can what exactly? Can I have your autograph too? Aww. Huh? You want my autograph? Don't be a fool of yourself. I wouldn't ask you for an autograph in a million years. It's for my sister. She's a big fan. I see. Yes, no problem. Aww. Here, give it to Ruby-san. thank you. Anyway, next time we meet, I'll crush you in the courtroom, Takasaki Yusana. I'm looking forward to it. Hello, my little hero. I see you're chatting it up with the others. Karin-san, I'm so glad you're off the hook. That too, but I'm mostly just relieved I and Rina can find closure in all of this. Speaking of which, I haven't seen them out here yet. Wonder what they've been up to. I don't know, perhaps they're still talking it out. Wait, someone's leaving the gym. Look behind you. Sure, Rigo-chan, you were watching our trial? Well, yes, I found it prudent to observe how our school is being represented. I have to say, you did quite well. I'm happy with the result. That said, I hope future trials don't get so serious near the end. This is meant to be lighthearted after all. We'll see. Hello. Rina-chan, how are you feeling? I feel fine, thanks for asking. I hope that we didn't cause you too much trouble. I would hate for you all to have been weighed down by all this. Don't worry about it, Rina-chan. I promise that we're just relieved everything seems to be back to normal. Hey, you and I both. You're a true lawyer. You have the conviction to win the case. Thanks, Ai-chan. Oh, come on, you've got to have more to say than that. You found out that I'm a felon. You're free to give me a longer sentence. I'm glad that you're happy too, Ai-chan. Still, I wish there was more I could do for Rina-ria. If only her family could have watched our show. Actually, I may know a compromise. Hey, Rina-chan. What is it, Yusana? I'm sorry your parents couldn't make it to our show, but if it makes you feel any better, I know someone who could come to our next live. Oh, maybe the cat. Did you know on the day of the crime, Hanpan came looking for you? No, it must have been when I was out of the practice room. I know Hanpan is no substitute to your parents, but you've got someone else here who loves you unconditionally and will follow you to the end of the earth. They came looking for you during our investigation, too. Isn't that remarkable? If you want, we could give Hanpan VIP access to our next live. I'm sure among all those adoring fans who came to see you, Hanpan would like to see you most of all. You're going to give a cat a VIP seat? On second thought, I guess that does sound kind of... Oh, Rena's laughing. That sounds funny. Yeah, just go ahead and do it. Oh yeah, that's a great idea. We wouldn't even need to print VIP tickets for that. Just put out a special calf bed for Hanpen. And also, we need to keep the door open so Hanpen can run away when Setsu goes on stage. But that's fine too. Hey, why would anyone walk out of my performance? I've got a new dance prepared for next time. It'll be inspired by this case. The dance of fiery burning justice that overcomes all opposition. That's a way too long of a title, jeez. It'll be a real showstopper, don't you dare miss it. You made a lot of people happy today, Yu-chan. Give yourself a pat on the back. Thanks, Ayumu, but it's all for my friends. If I can make them happier, then that's all I ever wanted. Anyway, let's take a group picture. Ai-chan, would you do the honors? Oh yeah, gladly. That includes you, Shioti, no running. But I was hardly involved with this case, wasn't I? That doesn't matter, get over here. We couldn't have gotten to this point without you. Alright, places everyone. 1, 2, 3. Ah, that's a cute picture. Anyway, episode 2. Invitation to the turnabout. The end. Thank God. That took far too long. I can't wait to play episode 3 now. But oh my God, my voice is dead. But yeah, anyways guys, thank you all so much for watching. And I guess I will see you all next time in another Gyakuten live video. Or whatever I make next. Goodbye for now.